Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping straight into something absolutely fascinating today, which is the literal physics of luck. Yeah, you heard me right. Luck isn't just some random magical force that strikes from the heavens. It actually has physics. And more importantly, we're going to learn exactly how you can actively harness those physics to your advantage. So, let's get right into it. Right off the bat, be honest with me for a second. Have you ever looked at someone else's life, maybe a coworker or someone on social media, and thought, man, how did they get so lucky? Most of us just naturally assume luck is something that happens to you out of the blue, right? Well, Dr. Seelig, who is this incredible Stanford researcher and the author of 18 books, completely flips that idea on its head. Her research essentially proves that while fortune is what happens to you, luck is actually a product of your own actions. You can control it.
To figure out how to do that, here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover the physics of luck, how to map your personal riskometer, the 3 key risk categories, how to recruit your loyal crew, and finally, how to hoist your sail today.
Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, the physics of luck. Basically, it is time to stop spinning and start sailing. Grasping this requires a pretty massive mindset shift. I want you to imagine that the winds of luck are literally always blowing around you. They never stop, but some people just stay inside with the shutters completely closed, missing it entirely. Now, for the people out in the world, there are basically 2 types. First, you have the wind vane. A wind vane definitely notices opportunities, but it just spins in place. They see that dream job or that interesting person they want to talk to, but they just swivel around and stay totally stuck. Then you have the sailboat. A sailboat actively searches for the wind with a very specific destination in mind. Ask yourself right now and be completely honest, which one of these are you? Because if you actually want to manifest your dreams, you literally have to become the sailboat. So how do we do that? Well, here is the metaphorical guide we're going to use to transition you from a stationary wind vane into a dynamic sailboat. Step 1 is building your sailboat, which is all about internal work. Step 2 is recruiting your crew, meaning social engagement. And step 3 is hoisting the sail, which comes down to strategic initiative.
Moving right along to Section 2, mapping your personal riskometer. This is where we figure out your keel and assess your comfort zone.
So obviously, before you can sail anywhere, you've got to build the boat. And the very first step in boat building is identifying your core values. Think of your core values as the keel underneath your boat. It keeps you steady so you don't get blown off course by situations that don't align with your goals. But once that keel is securely in place, you have to accept a hard truth. Luck is a physics-based result of the risks you're willing to take today. Listen, luck aggressively favors those who are willing to step out of their comfort zone. And to start doing that, you have to map your own personal riskometer. Which brings us to Section 3, the 3 key risk categories. This is the absolute foundation of your personal riskometer. I'm going to walk you through a quick self-assessment here with these 3 categories. As we go through them, I want you to mentally flag which ones feel the most intimidating to you. First up, we have intellectual risks. This means challenging your current knowledge and, frankly, being willing to be curious about things you know absolutely nothing about. Just think about it. Before something becomes a lifelong passion, it's usually a complete mystery to you. It requires the intellectual risk of asking seemingly silly questions and admitting, hey, I don't know this, to open up an entirely new world. Next up on the riskometer, social risks. This is all about how you engage with others. We're talking about introducing yourself to a complete stranger, taking the time to really learn someone's name, or even just asking for a tiny favor. Taking small, calculated chances on new interactions like this can quite literally create entirely new pathways in your life, because you never know who holds the key to your next massive opportunity. In the third category, emotional risks. This is about being vulnerable and forcing yourself into new environments, especially when you're feeling stuck or incredibly uncomfortable. Look, putting yourself out there can feel absolutely terrifying. It's the opposite of comfortable, but it is 100% necessary if you actually want to change your current trajectory. To really bring this whole framework down to earth, let's talk about author and speaker Mel Robbins. She tells this incredibly relatable story. When she was 53, she had just moved to a completely new town. She was depressed and she literally had 0 friends. She felt super unlucky. But then she had this major realization. Sitting on her couch was not going to make friends magically fall out of the sky. She realized she had to take serious emotional and social risks to change her life. Or, as she put it, she had to stir the soup. So she forced herself to go to the exact same local coffee shop every single day. She learned the barista's name. She started giving out genuine compliments. She essentially mapped her riskometer, identified her social and emotional blocks, and started taking low-stakes risks to smash through them.
That leads perfectly into Section 4, recruit your loyal crew. Because, as we know, luck seldom sails solo.
So this is where we see how those emotional and social risks are the exact tools you need to build your community. Luck almost always comes through your engagement with other people. If you want to start stirring the soup and practicing what Dr. Seelig calls radical generosity, here are some super actionable, low-stakes ways to do it. Learn your barista's name. Give someone an authentic, thoughtful compliment. Make a warm introduction between two people in your network who really should know each other. Or just write a quick, simple thank you note. These are such tiny actions, exactly like what Mel did at her coffee shop, but they are incredibly potent.
And why do we do this? Well, the long-term payoff is actually pretty simple. When you help others, it comes back to you in absolute waves. These tiny acts of radical generosity are exactly how you recruit a crew that will support your journey. You aren't just making casual acquaintances here. You are literally building an entire ecosystem of luck around yourself.
All right, finally, we are at Section 5, Hoist Your Sail Today. This is all about taking strategic initiative.
Hoisting your sail means doing the right kind of hard work to actually capture the wind. And a huge part of that is represented by this simple number, 5. I'm talking about the power of the 5-minute favor. This is a quick, immediate action, like shooting off a quick email introduction or asking a fast question that physically stops you from spinning like a wind vane waiting for luck to find you. It shifts you from a passive observer into an active participant in your own life.
Because honestly, here is the ultimate secret to this entire framework. It's called compounding luck. Every single small action you take today is a deposit that compounds over time. Luck is a long game. It's exactly like investing your money. You take a small intellectual risk today. You do a 5-minute favor tomorrow. At first, it might not look like much is happening, but give it time. Those small deposits compound into the opportunity of an absolute lifetime. The physics of luck basically dictates that you are always just one decision away from a completely different life.
So, I'm going to leave you with this one provocative question to chew on. What is one small risk you can take today to stir the soup? Seriously, think back to your personal riskometer. Where are you currently closed off? Is it intellectual, social, or emotional? Make one decision, right now, to step out of your comfort zone. Go introduce yourself to one new person, or finally ask that question you've been holding back on. Stop spinning in place, become the sailboat, and go catch your own winds of luck. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.